Steve Schmidt for a long time has been really hitting Donald Trump pretty hard. But today beat them all. He appeared on the 11th hour, and my God, I went ahead and fused three of his responses into one because they perfect fit sequentially. Check this out. He defined the president perfectly.
His leadership has been profoundly deficient. This is somebody who ran for president promising to make America great again, and his legacy will be one of death, suffering, and economic collapse. And the scenes that we're seeing play out all over the country did not have to be. Job of the president is to protect the country. Donald Trump has been completely derelict in his duty. The Chinese played him for a fool. A dozen times he said that the Chinese were doing a tremendous job at this, that this would disappear overnight, that there were 15 cases here, but soon there would be zero, and we're cruising towards 100,000 dead Americans. And we see the moral incapacity of this president to grieve with the country, to understand the level of suffering. And when we look at the economy, I think it's important to understand the economy did not collapse because of the coronavirus, and it has not collapsed in other countries around the world. It collapsed because of the ineptitude of the governmental response to it. And he's making it worse, not better. And I think that Donald Trump can't spin his way out of reality, which is that he's the most inept president in a crisis this nation's ever had. It's why he looks so small next to Abraham Lincoln in the temple that we erected to honor the memory of the man who saved the Union. It just shows the weakness, the profound weakness of Donald Trump as a leader, as a man, to sit there in the shadow of Abraham Lincoln, who was martyred really on the anniversary of the day that Lincoln was laid to rest in Springfield, sitting there at the feet of the greatest president, our American martyr, between on the walls that are opposed the Gettysburg Address and the second inaugural that talks about charity for all and malice towards none. He possesses literally every quality that Lincoln stood opposed to. The qualities of Lincoln's greatness, literally, Donald Trump shares none of them. He has a lack of empathy, a lack of humility, a lack of vision, a lack of competence. He's been the worst president in the history of the country facing a crisis. Ironically, the worst president until now was the man who preceded Abraham Lincoln, the 15th President Buchanan. I guess he's smiling up there looking down, gratified he's not the worst president in American history anymore. Nobody blames Donald Trump for there being a coronavirus, a novel coronavirus. I think what's fair to blame Donald Trump for is the lack of preparedness by the federal government, the lack of vital equipment, the lack of testing to this day. We have the president of the United States on a stage from the White House advising the American people to shoot up Lysol. It's an absurdity. These news conferences every day, we have a president of the United States talking to the country in one of the great crises in the history of the country, comparing his ratings to the Bachelor finale. At every conceivable level, he has shown himself unfit for this moment. And the challenge for the country as we look ahead to the presidential election, the recovery from this event, which is one of the most epic in the country's history, will take many, many years. We're likely to see unemployment rates of 30%. And what he's demonstrated is a complete incapacity for leadership over and over and over again, whether it's the dishonesty, whether it's the happy talk, whether it's the partisan attacks. At every moment when he was called to be bigger, when he was called to be great, he was small. And therefore, greatness in a moment where the country required it and needed it has eluded him. And what the country has been saddled with is a level of ineptitude and incompetence that makes our allies tremble and our adversaries cheer.
Need I say more? Steve Schmidt, you've got it all right. I'm Egberto Willies, host of Politics Done Right, an independent news program. I post several news videos of interest every day. I ask you so kindly to subscribe to my channel, and please leave me some comments. Thank you very much.